I've been pretty vocal on my displeasure with the Google Pixel Fold and some of the areas that I feel it comes up a little short in that would prevent me from recommending it for purchase to you. However, in each of those videos, I was careful to point out that there are a lot of positives here to this device. And given some changes, I can absolutely see it becoming one of my favorites. So today, in this video, instead of focusing on the negatives and talking about why you shouldn't buy it, I want to focus on a lot of the positives of the device and the things that Google can build on that make this a promising device for the future, whether that's updates to the Pixel Fold itself or updates by way of an upgrade next year for the Pixel Fold 2. So, let's talk about it. Number one, top of the list, gotta be hardware. The hardware on this device is absolutely phenomenal. And Google's really done this the last couple of years. You know, as kind of the other elements that I get frustrated with have cropped up, hardware has not been one of them. Really nice designs. The Pixel 8 design looks gorgeous that's coming up. Really nice renders there. So the Pixel Fold definitely follows in that line with a fantastic feel in the hand, beautiful matte obsidian finish, which it seems like my eyes did deceive me on the Pixel 8 simulator. It does seem like Google's going with matte, so they finally learned that lesson, which is great. Fantastic matte back on this device. Beautiful, it's a nice weight to it with good balance as well. So it's not, top heavy in one way. It's a really nice feel in the hand. Beautiful hinge. Just a really nice design. A solid feeling hinge as well. I have no doubts. Of all the doubts I have about the Pixel Fold, the hinge is definitely not one of them. One of the best feeling hinges on any foldable device that I've felt. And then you have, of course, the outer display, which is a fantastic experience. Really great, especially on any foldable here in the United States. So hardware gets an A+. If that's something that they could continue with, then Google's got themselves at least on the right track, because this device feels premium from top to bottom. I just love that design. I love the way they did the camera bar. I just really love the design of it. It's a device that you want to pick up and hold. The fact that both sides are so thin, it's just a nice, and the bezels don't bother me. Don't bother me at all. Look at this outlet. Look at this outlet. This is a tablet. This is meant to look like a tablet and function like a tablet. So the bezels, I need something to hold on to with the tablet. I don't want my fingers in the content. So the bezels don't bother me at all. Do I like the little not closing 100, completely flat? No, because that creates issues on the inside of the device. But for now, I could live with it if they can update that or change that on a future model. But from a baseline standpoint, there's a lot to like about the Pixel Fold hardware. The other thing is the camera. The 5X optical on a foldable is quite nice, and it makes a difference. And I took this picture. I'll throw this picture up that I took of this squirrel, and I had this same thought when I had the 5X optical on the Pixel 7 Pro. It's not something that you'd necessarily spend extra money on, but if you have it, you like it, and it's nice, and you use it, and it just makes the pictures that much cleaner. And I prefer it to the 10X optical on the Samsung devices. 10X optical, regardless of how well they do it, still comes off as a little bit of a softer image, whether it's the sensor they put underneath the periscopes, whatever it happens to be. The 10X optical, to me, does not take an image that makes it worth the zoom. Whereas the 5X, I think, is that perfect length where you get just enough zoom, but it feels like a legitimate, true, clear optical zoom. Where I know it is supposed to be, but it actually looks like it. It produces an image that's sharp, like it's right in front of me at 5X. Whereas the Samsung device, whether it overprocesses, like I said, whether it's a sensor, whatever it happens to be, does not feel like a sharp image or a sharp enough image at 10X, whereas at 5X, some really nice stuff on the Pixel, which you'd expect, okay? Cameras are one of these devices that when you've heard that Google was going to produce a foldable, you figured that they come out of the gate with the best cameras on any fold. And that certainly, I do believe, is the case with the Pixel Fold. So that's that. The other thing is some light at the end of the tunnel as far as Tensor 2 is concerned. Did I necessarily agree with not including Tensor 3 on here? No. Did they not want to crowd the release of the Pixel 8 and put Tensor 3 on there? Okay. Did they not want to delay it into next year any further because they knew that, other parts of the updates and other parts of the hardware would be outdated? Yeah, maybe that could be the thing. So I don't mind Tensor 2 on here. It's not a bad processor by any means. I just wish that they could get that overheating and battery life under control. Now, from the Android 14 beta, it seems like the battery life is at least under control. I'm getting well over 6 hours of screen on time. It's even closer to 7 on this device on the Android 14 beta. That is a huge deal because you can kind of turn the other way on this. You can kind of see this device turn in the corner when you get that battery life in focus, because the 4.5, 5 hours of screen on time I was getting, and that's mostly with the external display, not even opening it to the internal display, was pathetic. So the fact that now Google's at least, whether they've acknowledged it internally, whether they've finally gotten Tensor 2 under control like they did Tensor 1, took them a while, but they did. So maybe they got Tensor 2 under control, could get the battery life in there. But once they lock that in, that makes a huge difference on this device. And that's something to absolutely look forward to if you're running it on Android 13. You're afraid to put it on the beta, which I totally agree with. You shouldn't really be putting stuff on betas if this is your daily driver, because you never know what could break. And it might not be a full-wide system break. It might be something stupid. It might be like a WhatsApp break or a work app specifically that you need that breaks. So while it might not be a Google high-priority thing to fix, it matters to you, and now you're going to have that app broken. So just keep yourself off the beta if this is your daily driver. But know that battery help is definitely on the way. And I do believe there is a place for this form factor. Not the way that people describe it, like, well, I need the device and I use it 90% of the time on the outer display, and I don't mind the fact that the internal display I only use 10% of the time for certain apps and whatever. I don't agree with that. What I agree with, though, is that there's a heck of a lot of promise for this form factor, even the way it's situated, even with the crease and all the rest of it. If they were to implement a Microsoft Surface Duo style multitasking, where you have app pairs, where you can pull up your app pair, where you can swipe out, because you got these beautiful, if you split this screen in two, you have a beautiful setup for 2 aspect ratios that make sense for the individual apps. You're not squishing them, okay? So you could have individual Android controls at the bottom of each of those. So let's say you had Instagram and Twitter up here. You could swipe away one individually, still keep Instagram on this side of the screen, then start scrolling through your app drawer, pick up another one, and then you could go from there and kind of go back and forth. I think if they're able to implement that, that would be a fantastic, fantastic win for the Pixel Fold, because you're really not going to see that soon. Again, I don't know when we're going to see another Surface Duo device, if we're going to see another Surface Duo device. So if Pixel or Google could pick up that mantle and give us that app experience that we've been missing, I think that could turn this device from what I think is now a negative and kind of a soft spot of this device is the software experience into a major, major positive and selling point. So it's not all bad. There is a future here for this device. I hope Google acknowledges that and makes the changes that we need. But if you have one, I know a lot of people have been defending them in the comments, everything with the videos I do. Oh, I love mine. Okay, that's great. I think it could be better, but there's certainly a platform to build on here for Google. Even if I don't think it's worth necessarily buying right now, I do see a path forward into a pretty darn good device if they choose to take it. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.